invite Reverend Lary Jackson from Church World Service.
Well, good evening. I'm glad to be able to be here and just join you this evening. We've appreciated our partnership with the Hunger Walk here for 35 years. And so it's a real joy to be able to, and an honor as well, and privilege to share on behalf of the international ministries that the Hunger Walk supports. So I know when our sister was sharing, and a number of you, I remember, I'm always reminded of why I do what I do. And it's not about raising money, it's not about getting a lot of walkers, it's really about equipping us for the ministry that God has called us to. And that ministry, for me, springs out of a very familiar story. And that story is sometimes called the story of the Good Samaritan. And you remember with me that it was about a person who was beaten and robbed and left for dead. And two people who were like him passed by because they had things to do and people to see. But a third came by, and that third was actually an enemy of the man. But he had mercy and compassion on him. And he bound up his wounds, put him on an animal, took him to an inn and said, whatever he needs, do it, and I'll repay. And then Jesus said, who is it that fulfilled the command to love God and love neighbor? And it was the one who had mercy on him. And that's why I do what I do. It seems to me that there's a lot of people that are placed in our paths, both right in our own communities, but there's a lot of people that are placed in our path in the global community as well. There's many people through technology that we see almost instantaneously. We can see the refugees coming across the border, Somalia, into Kenya looking for food and for shelter. We can see the folks in Syria and what's happening right there, or in Haiti, or wherever it might be. And those people are brought to us immediately. And it seems to me that God is saying, will you be a neighbor? Will you love them? And how do we love them? But by having mercy and compassion. So thank you for that opportunity. Thank you for your willingness to walk alongside people in this community, but also in the global community. I have a brief thing that I'd like to share with you that you can use as a tool within your own setting. And so I'd like to ask you this question. How many of you here wear eyeglasses or contact lenses? Raise your hand. More than 2 million children worldwide each year suffer severe visual problems due to a lack of vitamin A. Among other things, the Hunger Walk funds give Church World Service help to provide beehives to impoverished families in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. In Gambia, besides selling the honey, the wax from the hives is rolled into balls and given to children as chewing gum. This is rich in vitamin A. Since 1989, the Hunger Walk has raised an amount of money for CWS equivalent to purchase 36,360 beehives. Our walking fights hunger and malnutrition in wonderful ways, and that's something to buzz about. And speaking of buzzing, have any of you ever been bitten by a mosquito? Raise your hand. It's an itchy inconvenience for us, but in the developing world, a mosquito bite can be deadly. More than 30,000 children die each day from malaria and every other preventable diseases. In the last 5 years alone, the Hunger Walk has given more than $110,000 to CWS for its ministries. That amount is enough to purchase insect-repellent treated mosquito nets to protect more than 55,000 people in malaria-infested areas. Walking not only feeds people, but it saves lives. Now, how many of you had lunch today? Or dinner? Did you know that last year alone, the Hunger Walk raised an amount of money sufficient to provide lunch for 2.3 million children living in refugee camps in the Burma-Thai border? Church World Service has been providing lunch there for Karen, refugee children for decades at a mere 8 Thai baht, which is 5 cents for a lunch. This is a school lunch program that is a bargain, and our Walking in the Hunger Walk has made it possible. 2.3 million lunches. How many mothers do we have here? Any mothers? Did you know that in Afghanistan with its poor medical care, 1 in 11 mothers dies in childbirth? 1 out of every 11. One of CWS's safe birthing kits costs $35. The money raised in our Hunger Walk here in Grand Rapids since we began walking 35 years ago could save the lives of more than 94,285 young mothers. Women and children are the ones who suffer the most in the world, and we can do something about that. Walk monies address hunger and poverty right here in Grand Rapids through our many local food agencies and ministries, but also internationally through your partnership with Church World Service, Christian Reformed World Relief Committee, Catholic Relief Services, Lutheran World Relief, and Mason. And so I encourage you to walk not only for the people in your own community, in this great community of Grand Rapids, but also to walk with people throughout the world who have no choice but to walk every single day for their food, their water, education, and employment. So thank you, and that's it.